So the iPad Air hasn't been updated since 2022 in a major way, at least. We know there was a minor update in 2023 where it supports the Apple Pencil Pro and all that. So I'm just going to do my quick review of this iPad here. This is the iPad Air 2020, I believe, 3 edition. And I'm just going over the pros, the cons, and should you get this or should you wait for a potential update that's possibly going to happen in March. There's rumors that Apple is going to have an event for the iPad and maybe even an iPhone SE, but mainly it's iPads that get updated in March, and the Air should be on the ticket for that because this thing has been updated since 2022. So I'm going over the design here. It's your typical iPad. It has 4 speakers. It's a flat design, box edges. The corners are rounded, so it makes it a little easier, but it is a flat design. Your typical modern Apple design. It has a Touch ID power button, which is useful, and the camera is in landscape, so that's a good design. It's probably going to stay. I don't expect them to change this at all. Even the pins on the back there, as you see, this isn't going to change if they update this in March. So it does support USB-C, which is great. It's always a welcome when that happens. It does support fast charging if you get the brick. It does take about an hour and a half if you use, let's say, a 20-watt brick to charge this thing from full, and it lasts about a good 6 to 8 hours from my use case. iOS 18.2 does kind of hinder this a little, as the battery drain is noticeable on certain devices, and I believe this one here is suffering from that a little. But all in all, it's a good battery, lasts long. You can do powerful things with it and keep it going for a bit of a while. So it's a good battery. You won't have to worry about that at all. As you see, I attached the pencil to charge it. So all in all, you won't have to worry about the battery being an issue. And the charging is a nice speed since it's USB-C. So you can't go wrong with that. I also showcase the display a little. So it has a screen protector on it. That's why it looks a little matted. But the display is really, really glossy, as you would expect from an iPad. So I just put a screen protector and a case. This isn't my iPad in the sense of me owning it. I just bought it and let someone else use it. So the case and stuff obviously is not mine. And I just showcase what it looks like in a case because you definitely want one. You don't want to use this thing without it. And it supports, of course, all the cover cases. It even has a Magic Keyboard case. Just make sure you get the right one because there's different models. And this is an updated version, so you want to make sure you get the right version. So I attached the Apple Pencil here. It does support the Apple Pencil Pro. This is not the 2nd gen. This is the Apple Pencil Pro because this iPad was updated to support that pencil when it came out. So just make sure you get the right one. I believe it can use the 1st gen Apple Pencils too. If you get the USB-C version, you can connect it to the bottom and have it charged that way. But if you plan to dock it like how you see here, you must get the Pro Apple Pencil because the 2nd gen will not work. So just keep that in mind. So now I'm just kind of showcasing the display. It's one of my biggest gripes of an iPad of this size and price. It's still a 60 hertz display. The colors are great and it gets plenty bright. It's just for the price you pay and kind of the iPad being in the upper middle of the lineup, it's kind of unacceptable to have a 60 hertz display. I think Apple should at least bring it to 90 and then maybe have the 120 hertz stuck to the Pro since it is labeled a ProMotion display. At least have this one go to 90 hertz and take advantage of that incredible display because it's a nice big screen. The bezels are pretty short compared to previous models. The camera's in a good orientation now, and overall it's a good viewing experience. It's just the 60 hertz is definitely something that's unacceptable in my opinion for this price point. So I hope that if they update this iPad in March, that they at least bring it to 90 hertz or maybe even bring in an OLED panel. Something that will make this closer to the price that they're asking for, because other than the design being close to the Pro, that's about it. Everything else is kind of in the lower range. Like I said, the display is kind of one of those things, and I think if they just make that a little more higher quality, I think it will be a better recommendation to buy if you're trying to use this for professional work or work on the go. So I'm just demonstrating the Apple Pencil Pro here. Once again, it supports that pencil fully, and it does support, I believe, the first gen. So you can draw on it, as you see. Once again, it's a 60 hertz display, so you won't get all the really quick latency stuff that the Pros offer, but it's still a good experience nevertheless. Now, what I was trying to do here is draw like a simple image and then use the image wand to generate an AI image that from Apple Intelligence, because this iPad does support it, because it has the M series chips, the M2 to be exact. And for some reason, I just couldn't find it in my toolbar. So I don't know what happened with the image wand generation. I just either didn't see it or it got turned off during the iOS 18.2 update. Or it's just something that I'm not seeing in the toolbar. So either way, I couldn't find it, and I tried to generate an image just to showcase that this thing does support the Apple Intelligence suite. And I also go in the settings later on just to show that it does support Apple Intelligence and that it is on. So this is another cool feature of the iPad Air. You just won't have to worry about being left behind anytime soon because of the M series chip. It's plenty fast, it has plenty of RAM, and has a good amount of memory. I believe this is the 128 version. So if you're looking for an iPad that is an emergency buy, you can't wait, you need one now for work or whatever reason, then definitely go for the Air, especially this one. It has all the features you need, minus the display being a little lackluster. It has the Pro design, the quad speakers, the front-facing camera, and the landscape orientation, which is great. It has the Touch ID power button, which is good, and it has the M series chip, which will support all the Apple Intelligence features if you do use that. And of course, it does support the Apple Pencil Pro, which if you're an artist. So this is a really good buy if you are trying to, let's say, start something professionally or work on the go for school or just work in general. It's a perfect iPad for that. My only recommendation is if you can wait, definitely do so. And let's see what happens in March, because there's rumors of an update potentially happening in March. It's your typical spring event. These are tailored for iPads usually. Sometimes they do the Air, sometimes they do just the base iPad. And this iPad hasn't been updated since 2022. So if there is an iPad event, it's hopefully going to feature the Air and the base iPads to get them up to the standard now. Maybe an M4 chip and a little bit more RAM. I'm hoping a slightly faster display, or maybe even an OLED display, who knows. But if you can hold off, just wait a little bit and see if Apple does update this iPad. If not, then the Air is definitely a buy. I recommend, because of its features, especially if you find it on sale, it's even better. It supports the Magic Keyboard, so if you want to type on it, you can do that. Minus it being really expensive, of course, but it has all the features you need, just shy of a better display and a slightly faster M4 series chip that the Pros offer. So that's my take on the iPad Air. I think as I demonstrate this here, doing the Apple Pencil stuff and the design, I think it's a peak iPad. I don't think they can do much more with this thing, to be honest. It's all going to be in the software now. The hardware is pretty much at its peak. I don't think they can make anyone be astonished by the design. I think it's all going to have to be in software now. So if you buy this iPad Air, you shouldn't have to worry about, some crazy feature coming out where you must sell this one to get the newest one that comes out. So you won't be disappointed in that. We can only hope that iPad OS eventually gets some really powerful features, because right now it is kind of just an oversized iPhone update, or iPhone OS, how it's kind of handled, and we'll see what happens with it. But that's my take on the iPad Air, and I hope this helped you out. If it did, please let me know in the comments below, or if you have any questions or any concerns about the iPad, just let me know and maybe give your wish list of what you want Apple to do with the iPad Air, because right now it's kind of at its peak. As I mentioned, the only thing I really can think of is the display, that they can really improve to make the iPad Air really, really close to the pros, but not actually become a pro and be worth the price. So I'm demonstrating here the Apple Intelligence features. As I mentioned earlier, it does support the Apple Intelligence suite. Any update that Apple pushes will come to this, just like any of the modern iPads and iPhones. So just letting you know that that is there, it's supported. And I'm just going over the software update stuff. So it's on the latest version, iOS 18.2, and I highly recommend you update to 18.2 to get the best battery life. 18.2.1 was supposed to fix it, so just make sure you do that to get the best battery performance out of it. But yeah, that's my take on the iPad, and I hope this helped you out. If it did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll do my best to answer all the questions if there's any that come in the comments. And of course, if any iPad gets updated, you'll find out here. I'll do a video on it and tell you the difference between that and this one. So once again, I hope this helped you out. If it did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It will help me out, and I can keep doing more and higher quality videos, helping people out with their purchasing power. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.